On 7th May 2025, exactly at 1:05 am, the Indian Air Force announced Operation Sindoor, a precise series of airstrikes deep within Pakistan and Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. That was India's bold answer to the terror attack that shook the country 2 weeks back. Those behind the attack in Pahalgam would pay the price, but this also marked a new chapter in modern warfare, where advanced technology and artificial intelligence played a crucial role. Now, to understand Operation Sindoor better, we must rewind back to April 22, 2025. On that day, the terrorists struck the Baisaran Valley of the Pulwama region under the Indian-administrated Kashmir. They separated men and women and cold-bloodedly murdered 26 people. I'm talking about wives saw their husbands executed right in front of them. One widely shared image across social media is the one of a girl sitting right beside her slain husband with sindoor still in her forehead. Terrorists targeted civilians just for their identity. That sent waves of grief and anger throughout the country. People demanded justice. Now, in one of the speeches, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that they will track and punish all the terrorists and their backers.
And punish every terrorist and their backers.
Now, exactly at 1:05 am, the Indian fighter jets struck their targets with clinical precision. This operation was a coordinated tri-services effort. That means that the Navy, Army and Air Force were all involved. Within minutes, a total of 9 different targets inside Pakistan and Pakistan-occupied Kashmir were hit in succession. Indian officials later described this mission as focused, measured and non-escalatory, emphasizing that no Pakistani military installations were hit. The only targets were the terrorist camps. Now at 1:30 am, Pakistan declared a state of emergency, and by the time that they could get their F-16 jets out in the air, the operation was entirely complete. Now, a press release at 1:44 am by the Ministry of Defence emphasized that India showed considerable restraint in the selection of targets and the methods of execution, and reiterated that those responsible for their attack will be held responsible. While across the border, a different war was at play, the war of information. Now, before we dive into that, let's talk about how India executed this sophisticated airstrike within deep inside the enemy territory. Operation Sindoor showcased India's high-tech arsenal that was recently acquired over the years. Unlike the simpler bombing operations of the past, this operation relied heavily on the advanced precision weaponry to hit the targets from afar, which likely included the Dassault Rafale aircraft SCALP, the air-guided cruise missile, or Hammer, the guided bomb. Let's talk about this in detail. SCALP, also known as the Storm Shadow, Franco-British-made long-range missile, the SCALP can travel 250 kilometers to find its target. That means the Indian pilots did not have the need to cross the borders at all. Let's talk about Hammer. While SCALP took care of the long-range targets, Hammer is a smart glide bomb kit that can be attached to any standard bomb. Glide fins and GPS guidance, Hammer can hit the targets 50 to 70 kilometers afar. Hammers were likely used in this operation to blast reinforced structures or multi-story training facilities. Loitering missiles, or the kamikaze drones, unmanned drones that can circle around the target, dive into the targets like a missile. These likely serve two purposes: real-time surveillance or targeted strike. The combined strength of these weapons was lethal. By using standoff missiles and drones, India achieves surprise and precision. Overall, it showed that India's arsenal had evolved and that India was willing to use these capabilities when provoked. The aftermath of Operation Sindoor, within hours of the airstrike, flood of false information and fabricated media surged out of Pakistan's official channels. So what happened was a classic textbook example of modern misinformation war, where AI and fake media was used to muddy the waters. It begins with Pakistan's top leadership and military PR. Before dawn, Pakistan's Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif posted on X that a befitting reply was being given back to India. The Pakistan military spokesperson claimed in an early morning press conference that Pakistani Air Force jets were airborne and engaged. Islamabad officials boasted that Pakistan has shot down 5 Indian jets and 3 of them being Rafales. Now, no evidence was provided, no wreckage, no captured pilots, nothing. Now, Pakistan's military admitted that all Indian missiles were fired from within Indian airspace. In other words, the Indian jets never really entered the Pakistan territory. So how exactly those 5 planes were shot down? That is a classic propaganda play that they are playing. Soon after, pro-Pakistan accounts started circulating photos and videos to back their government's claims. But there was just one problem. Everything that they posted were either fake, unrelated or outdated. Indian fact checkers and even some global observers quickly caught on to these examples. Let me share some with you. The first one being an AI generated image of a crashed aircraft in Pakistan, while others are photos and videos completely unrelated from different parts of the world. Even the Pakistani media joined the misinformation frenzy. Now that said, the sheer volume of the fake news and videos floating around created confusion for the casual observer. For a while, the hashtags like India attack were trending with thousands of tweets or videos and pictures, most of them being unrelated to reality. It demonstrated a key aspect of modern warfare, that information warfare is now a standard. Every military action will be accompanied by the battle of the narrative, often fought over Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter, and television. Now, increasingly, AI is enabling the creation of highly believable fake content at lightning fast speeds. In case of Operation Sindoor, many of the fakes were manually cropped together, that is, using old images or slapping on fake captions. But across the world, we have seen far more sophisticated uses of AI to fabricate events. To truly grasp how this can influence the public's perception, let's take a look at some of the global examples. AI-driven misinformation. Because they foreshadow a future where seeing is no longer believing. This propaganda started after Operation Sindoor is a part of a larger phenomena, that is the rise of AI-generated fake media. Now here are a few striking examples of how powerful and dangerous is AI in information warfare. First, the burning Hollywood wildfire hawks. In mid-2024, when Los Angeles is fighting fierce wildfires, and among the genuine news reports, social media suddenly lit up with terrifying images of the Hollywood sign being on fire. Second, AI in Gaza conflict. The Israel-Hamas war of the late 2023 saw a rapid rise in the increase of fake graphic images and videos spread widely over social media, many of them being horrifying, but not all of them real. Deepfake images of bloody, distraught children were widely spread, aimed to inflaming anger and hatred. Third, the surrender speech deepfake. In the early weeks of Russian invasion in Ukraine, a video emerged online that sent shockwaves among the Ukrainian citizens. The video showed Ukrainian President Zelensky appealing to the populace to hand over their weapons and surrender to Russia. This was a deepfake video that was likely generated by the pro-Russian operatives. Now that was 2022. The AI technology has evolved massively in that time. You need to understand that fast information that makes or breaks the war is now being fabricated at scale. AI can fabricate evidences of events that never happened. In times of crisis, whether a war, a terrorist attack, or a natural disaster, this can be weaponized to mislead the public or the international community. During Operation Sindoor, we saw relatively low tech, that is old photos and repurposed videos. But one can imagine more advanced deepfakes emerging in the near future for the Indo-Pak confrontations. For example, what if a video emerged of an Indian official saying the airstrike was a failure, or a fake audio clip of a Pakistani journal plotting or launching a nuclear attack against India? Brings us to this important question: how can regular viewers like you and me can differentiate between them? I have linked down several articles that can help you with that. Will AI win this war? After examining Operation Sindoor, AI is undeniably changing how the wars are fought and how victories are shaped. In Operation Sindoor, AI and advanced technology gave India the edge to strike precisely and avoid wider conflicts, while Pakistan attempted to use digital deception to save face. It's a glimpse into the future where, alongside military, algorithms and deepfakes are combatants. The hope is that by embracing innovations and remaining vigilant against deceptions, nations like India will ensure that it is truth and justice and not lies or terrors that prevails. Jai Hind.